Can you hear me, whoever's here? Is the sound working now? If this doesn't work, I'm just going to go on live on my mobile. Yay! Some reason my computer muted my mic somewhere in the settings. I had to troubleshoot it to find it, to get it out. Don't know what happened there. I suppose because I never use it. I don't know. How annoying. Just typical, my sound decides to go. So, hi, how you're doing? I am apparently having fun today because my computer doesn't want to work for anything. But we're getting there, slowly but surely. I was just checking, and it turns out I haven't actually been properly live on this channel in 4 years. I mean, that was fast. Didn't realise it'd been that long. I knew it'd been a while, but 4 years, wow. That was a long time ago. Have I lost one of you? It says there's only one person watching, so who disappeared? I hope it's not all going funny. It's just my computer hates me. That's what it is. It keeps bitching at me because it's running out of space, but I've already filled up the external hard drive, so there's nothing to move over because I've got no space. So it's struggling right now. But we'll get there, won't we? So what are you all up to anyway? I am working on this lace shawl, which is Peacock Wedding Shawl by M. Mario. I found it on Ravelry and it just looks really cool, so I'm doing that. And I'm doing it in silk and cashmere. This is undyed, but I got a bunch of it to dye. I just haven't got around to it yet. So what are you all doing? Oh, give me something nice while you're there, Denise. Packet of Skittles, that'll do. I've got to work out where I got to on this. I haven't picked it up for like a week. Just been busy with life, you know how it goes. I'm loving your granny square blanket, Joe. The colours are so pretty. I've already pre-set up the ones I was doing for my nan yesterday. They're all in a bag ready to go. I did 6 of them yesterday, and then I'm gonna pop to buy more yarn to do her a bunch more at a later date. Probably at the weekend or something. Just got to see what we've got some time. Trying to get the cash and carry. You know what? I haven't been to Booker's, which is the sort of cash carry thing we have here, since before COVID. They changed the rules during COVID that only the card holder could go and only that person on their own. But of course, Duncan takes me everywhere and he done the pushing in the trolley and lifting everything. So we couldn't go and I just haven't gone back. So it's just, yeah, cash and carry is nice to do. But yeah, the only one we got is Booker, which is now owned by Tesco. So, yeah, weirdly, Booker doesn't always have the same stock in the Tesco's have and vice versa. Like, they can be sold out of Pepsi, but one of the other ones would have it. So it makes no sense. Yeah, my nan, she wanted originally a knitting machine, and when I got hold of the second one, the one Sharon gave me, I was going to fix it up and give it to my nan, but her eyesight had gone too much by that point. But she's worked out that she can still do basic granny squares, but she can't do that beginning start. So she just wanted me to do a few rows to get it started. and then she can carry on, which I think is nice because she lives out. It's not in the middle of nowhere really, but it is out of the way. It's kind of like a small village, which basically one straight line. She lives with me auntie. They built her like her own house attached to it, but she doesn't really get out and do much because obviously she can't really go out and about on her own. She does do buses and things, but this is it's hard, isn't it? So I think she enjoys doing her crafting so that she can do something. So I think she gives the blankets to whoever she can find. She doesn't have a plan for them. She just makes them because it's nice to do, which is quite cool. My ears just started ringing. I don't know if many other people will join us today because I have put a notice out saying I'm live, but obviously YouTube notifications are hit and miss. And I haven't been live for 4 years, so not many people are going to realise that I'm live, I expect. But I'm hoping to do this every week. It'll be a different day each week depending on what I've got on, what the boys have got on, because I want to try to not have them coming in and out. I'm sat over at the end so they can move around the house. They wouldn't go that way. That's my craft room, so nobody goes that way. So everyone has access to the house that way. But I try not to record when my eldest is about because he doesn't like being on camera. My youngest doesn't care. He's been on camera a lot, as you probably know, but yeah, my oldest doesn't like being on camera, so I try to avoid being about too much when he's at home. Or if there's going to be a lot of in and out. Mally, my youngest, he has been at work for work experience this morning. He's back now, but he'll be heading off again soon to do actual work where he gets paid. So he's doing twice, two different jobs at the moment, bless him, as well as college, because the work experience is for college. So he's in and out a lot. So it's just finding the time around their schedules to go live. I'd originally planned possibly Tuesday, but then I had doctors, so I couldn't. He is very busy, bless him. He is so busy. And his college's in Chippenham, and I'm in Salisbury, so they're both Wiltshire, but it's quite a distance. Before he got his driving license, he was catching a train every morning to college and back. So it would take him all day. Now he's got a driving license, he can drive. It doesn't take quite as long, but it's still. I mean, he's worked out in the last 2 weeks. He's done. I think he said it was 700 miles, and that's just going to college and work. He doesn't go anywhere else. So it's a lot of work for him for a 17-year-old. But he gets there. He gets so much knitting done, as you can tell. That's about normal for me. I was supposed to be putting TikTok on live too, but I haven't bothered. I'll do that another time. This was enough stress. I just need to work out what do you call it? How I can set them both up. It's the problem with TikTok is you can't do it on your computer. You can only do it on your phone. And I'm always worried someone's going to message me or phone me and interrupt the stream, which has happened each time I try to go live on TikTok. It's weird. Nobody ever calls me unless I try to go live on my phone, and then nobody calls me. So it's ridiculous. Now I'm hoping I took a note of where I got to. I did not. I have a little chart thing that tells me all the rows I'm on for all of the projects I'm on. Yes, they're that way. They're all projects I'm currently working on. Some are in timeout right now, and some I am working on, but I haven't actually wrote this one down on there. I do have my chart with a little thing. It tells me roughly where I am, but it shows 2 lines. So I have to work out which one of those lines I'm on, which is a lot of good, but might be able to work it out from this. I'm on row 77 because row 79 starts with a normal stitch, row 77 starts with a yarn over, and I started this section with a yarn over. That's good to know. I wouldn't say I'm organised. I just have a terrible memory, so I try to write down the numbers because I use I don't know if you can see it here. It's a beaded row counter jump ring, but of course they only go to 100. So something like this where it's got 300 odd rows, I need to keep note of when I've gone over 100 because I might forget otherwise because my memory is so bad. So I try to keep it in my phone, but I've obviously not got around to adding this one in yet because I haven't got over 100 just yet, but I really should. I probably should have just picked weaving. That would have been easier to do today. I might go and get the weaving and then I can chat more because I can't keep an eye on the complicated lace while I'm out. 2 secs. My weaving's just there. It won't take me long to get it. Right, let's move the keyboard out of the way. Even though I have a laptop, I have a separate keyboard because I don't actually like typing on the keyboard that's in my laptop. So, currently working on this as well. You can see that. This is some of my hand-dyed cotton. This colour didn't sell. Nobody liked this colour apparently, only me. So I thought I'm going to use it because I'm not having it sat there going to waste. And I got this loom off of a lady around here who's selling a load of craft supplies. It's an Ashford samplet, the 10-inch one. She only wanted 20 quid for it. What a bargain was that? So that's what I've got, which I'm quite enjoying using because the rigid needle full size, I've got a 32-inch one for my birthday last year now. And that one is great, but it's too big to take around anywhere with me. So I wanted something smaller for doing events and things. I can take it along and people can have a play because they take one look at my big one and they're too afraid to play on it. Same with my spinning wheel. I let people go on it and so many people are afraid they're going to break it. It's like, no, just go, it's fine. So I thought a little small one, they might be more inclined to play on it. I actually have weaving boards. They're basically cardboard that I sell in the shop. And they're actually a really good seller. People love buying the kits for them. They're fascinated when they see them. So I think it does bring back a lot of memories from school and weaving on cardboard. I really enjoyed it. I actually done a workshop with my local WI and with one of the nursing homes here doing weaving on the weaving boards. And they absolutely loved it. It was really good fun. I'm doing a macrame workshop with the local WI in April this year. They rung up 2 days ago and asked if I'd do that. So I thought I would. And then they want me to come back and do a spinning one. It's a WI that I used to be a member of, but back when I homeschooled the kids. But then the oldest two went off to college and I had no one to have Mally, the youngest, while I went, because at the time Duncan was working in London, so I stopped going. But I still keep in touch with the ladies, and so when they found out I do loads of different crafts and I do workshops for them, they asked me to come along and do workshops at the group, which I quite enjoy. Because though I'm nervous chatting in front of people, they don't seem to mind that my brain confuddles words, because they know that I know what I'm on about. I just get a little confused with pronunciations and words sometimes, and they work around it, which is really nice. And it gives me a chance to get out of the house without Duncan, because the poor guy has to take me everywhere normally with the WI. I mean, he has to drive me over, but it's only over the village hall, so he doesn't need to stay with me. He can come back and go to work, because his work are pretty good and they let him take 5 minutes off to drive me over, because it doesn't take long. But this will hopefully be a scarf, but one of the pieces doesn't seem to want to stay tensioned. It's doing my head in. What it is I had Duncan help me set this up, and he didn't realise that you need to keep the end bit on the length of the card that is there, so it's dropping off the edges, so it's giving a slightly uneven tension, so I have to pop it back on every so often. So, have you watched the new video yet, Joe? Do you know what the theme is? Do you hate me? Because got a lot of messages for the last month's theme about it and people struggling with it. But it's supposed to be fun. No stress needed. Hi, Bear. I'm afraid I can't call you by your real name, Bear, because I have a head like a sieve and I keep forgetting what it is. I always refer to you as Bear because that's what I see you as. That's the name is always down, so that's the one my brain registers. I have enjoyed doing videos again. I want to do more, but this month, last month, and this month are my rest months from doing so many stalls last year. I decided I was taking January and February off to rest and recover, and so I've been sleeping a lot because I'm just so tired. So I haven't actually made many videos, but I'm hoping these random lives each week will at least give me a chance to chat with you all, because I do miss it, and I can't believe it's been 4 years since I actually went live properly. It's just insane. Perfect, Joe. This is the thing, it's important to make sure you make stuff for yourself. It's been years since I actually made something for myself. I always say, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And then each year I end up making things for other people or for the shop and never for myself. So I thought I'm going to put a month in that is just for us to make something for ourselves. So this month I will make one of the projects I've been having a never-ending list of stuff I've wanted to make for myself and haven't got around to it. It'll be quite nice. But I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone comes up with. I really enjoyed all of your lot's entries for last month. It's really fun to see how different people can come up with different creativity forms for the same word. And I really loved the conversations I had with people over how to come up with something for balance. I'm hoping this month's a little easier because you get to be selfish, and I'm sure we've all got projects we've wanted to do and we haven't done. So I'm hoping less people will be stressing this month, because it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be stressful. It's just supposed to enjoy ourselves and get our creative juices going. And yeah, last month was it took some people a little more harder than I expected. But again, I think that's because we've been taught not to think for ourselves, and we have to do what everyone else is assuming is correct. So when you come to try to plan something that's entirely your idea, you second guess yourself. And I think it's just really good. This is the whole point of this whole year's theme, is to learn to trust yourself and what you want to do, what you think is correct. I just thought it'd be a fun way to do it, you know? Does that make sense? You know what? I keep planning on making myself socks, and I made myself one pair, might be 2 years ago now, maybe 3. And I haven't made myself another pair since, because I just keep forgetting to do stuff for me. So I might end up making myself a pair of socks. I don't know yet. But a lot of us like socks, don't we? Hand knit socks is just something they're just so good. It's just soft and cozy, and yeah, I love them. But I just made them for other people, and then I stopped making them for other people because not everyone's hand knit sock worthy, you know. And I haven't really got around to making any for myself. so I might make that my project, because I've got some gorgeous sock yarn. If it's not sold already, I need to pop into the shop and get it, because I've got a neon pair of dyed sock yarn, but it's in one of the shops in town. So when I go and do the next trade over of yarn, if it's not sold, I might grab that one and make myself a pair out of that. But I did get a phone call yesterday from a customer in the shop. The owner phoned me because she was asking questions about it, and one of them was that sock yarn. So it might have sold. I won't find out until Monday when I see the chart to see what I've sold for the week. You see, I've never done an afterthought here. I always done them at the same time. But I'm really wanting to try to do an afterthought hill, because I think I'd like that is for the flow of things. So I want to give that a go. I also want to check out the hill that Denise does. My problems with the hills I do is I really struggle to not get those little holes along the outside where you're doing, because I do short bow hills. So I've been trying to find a better way to do them. So I need to really look into socks and new hill forms and see what I can do for them, I think. And then just do something really pretty. But Sharon has already contacted me, so I already know what her prize is, because the prize is you get to choose a crafty supply. Because each entry, there's yarnies and there's artists and all sorts. So I don't want to give yarn to someone who's entered art project, But Sharon's actually chose art supplies for her prize, even though she entered a yarn project. She's like me and does multiple crafts. So she is going to get her art supply, and I'm going to give it to her on Monday because she goes to my craft group, which makes it so much easier because I don't have to post it. But I think Royal Mail postage is mostly caught up, I think, now, isn't it? So I'm not too worried about posting out to anyone who lives further away, because it should be okay. Fingers crossed, especially another month's time. They should hopefully have caught up fine, and all posts should go out. Just hoping whoever ends up entering and winning doesn't live in an obscure place that I've never posted to, because there's so many rules and regulations around what you can and can't post that I have to make sure whoever wins, if I have to post it to them, they have a prize that is allowed to be posted. And I know there are some strict rules about certain yarn types in some countries. And I know in one country, lavender is not allowed. And somebody made a lavender teddy and sent it to their grandson, and it got destroyed because lavender's not allowed. So there's so many things you have to check for that I will need to thoroughly check out whoever wins if I have to post it, to make sure that it's not going to be a problem. But hopefully it won't be a problem, because most of my viewage is either UK or US, and I don't think there's any major things we can't post to the US. I do have some viewers from India and Africa and all those sort of places, but don't know how many of them are in my actual group to take part in this competition. So we'll see, won't we? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Gotta have a drink. Does anyone else drink this stuff? Which is possibly backwards to you. Is that backwards or the right way? Backwards, isn't it? I don't understand why it's backwards. Anyway, it's Fever Tree Sicilian lemonade, refreshingly light. I love it. You gotta invert it a little bit so to deal with the settles, but it is fizzy, so it is a proper lemonade. But this stuff is so cool. It's like 18 calories per 100 ml, so this whole bottle is less than 100 calories. So it's my my guilty pleasure. Hi, is it Lorna? I really don't know how to say your name. I'm so sorry, but hi. if you've been around a while, you know that I'm always pronouncing things incorrectly. I don't have a good grasp on the English language, even though I am English. I blame my mother. She has an even worse grasp of the English language. Just like Donna with now, so Lonna. Is that right, Lonna? That's cool. I've never seen anyone with a name like that before. That's part of what I love about Roosing. You get to see such interesting names. Because I have very common names, Sonia, it's just boring. Though I love how some of the Americans say my name. I watch a lady called the Art Sherpa who teaches art, and she's fantastic. But she said my name out once, and the way she said it was so cool. It sounds so much nicer when Americans say Sonia than when I say it. Hey, yay, I said it right. Yay, me! I can't promise I'll get it right every time, because knowing me, I'll mess it up again at some point. I'm always doing that. The amount of people that comment on my videos telling me off for pronouncing something incorrectly. It's like, if you knew what I meant, does it really matter? It's like when I'm weaving and I say, I think this through now, I say heedle when it should be heddle. I think that's the way around. And I get it wrong so often. I know what it is, but my brain gets it wrong. And then if I think about it, I get more confused. But you know what it means. That's all that matters, isn't it? Ah, so you're Joanna. Spelled with a H. I would totally have spelt your name wrong. So is it Johanna or Johanna? God, I can't see pronunciations. I suck. Exactly, Bear. If it's close enough that they know what I'm on about, it shouldn't really matter. But I've had some very rude comments over the way I pronounced words before, and it's just like, move along. If you don't like it, just move along. I've deleted a lot of some seriously rude comments. Some I let stay, and some I've actually replied back very rudely myself. If I'm in a bad mood, it's not a good idea to read comments. But most of the time, if they're really, really rude, I just delete it and ignore it. That is so cool, Johanna. So how come you always go by Joe? Because I totally would go by Johanna. That is so pretty. There was 3 other Sonias in my class at school, in my middle school. I hated it. But then my twin sister's called Leanne, and there was 3 other Leannes too. Rather annoyingly, one of the girls also had the same middle name as me, so we couldn't even go by the middle names. Because I'm Sonia Louise. Time to shift this along. At least I can do this while chatting because it doesn't require too much concentration. Why I thought doing the lace shawl would be a good plan, I don't know. I don't even take the lace shawl to my group anymore because I can't talk. You're Louise as well. See, it's such a common name for people, isn't it? My twin sister's middle name is Charlotte, which weirdly we also had someone called Charlotte in there, but it wasn't another Leanne, so that was good. But even though she's my twin sister, it took me years to work out how to spell Charlotte. I don't know why, but I just really struggled with it. So I made sure my boys all had reasonably simple names, within reason. At least I thought I did, and yet somehow a lot of my family kept calling my oldest Kurt. They kept calling him Kirk. And my youngest, Malachi, he's 17 now. My mum still rings me up on his birthday to ask how to spell his name. So I guess they want that easy. But never mind. Pull that strand tight again. I do like how this is weaving up. I don't know how well you can see that, but I think it's weaving up really prettily. Prettily? Is that a weird word, prettily? See, Glasgow English language is not good. Brenda, that's your name. You know, I think you might be the only Brenda I know. I've got a really large family and I don't think any of them in there are called Brenda. I specifically tried to make sure that none of my boys had the same name as anyone else in the family. Whereas one of my uncles, he called his son John. His name's John. He called his son John, and then his grandson's also called John. It's like that's just too much. Let's have something different so we know who we're talking about. Though Maliki, he does have, for his middle name, he does have my dad's first name, but that's because my dad died before he got to meet Mally. So I thought it was a nice little way to connect them, even though they never got to meet. At least I say never got to meet. I'm pretty sure he met him as a ghost. Because the first thing my dad ever taught any of my kids was to poke their tongue out. Just a fun thing he always did. And Mally used to just stare at the wall, poking his tongue out. So I do wonder. That's got to be hard when they say names at work and things and there's more than one of you. How do they know which one you want? I'm quite lucky. All the jobs I had, no one else had the same name, which is weird because I knew so many, but I managed to avoid working in any place that had the same name as me. And I had a lot of jobs, so I've been really lucky. Put Daisy on because I was really cold and now I'm really hot. This is Daisy, by the way. It reminds me of a cow because it's black and white, and I don't know why, but to me, if you say a cow, Daisy is the name. My mum says Gertrude, magic roundabout. But to me, I always remember the storybooks being Daisy the cow, so this is called Daisy. But I'm really warm in her now. Yes, I name my clothes. It's easier if I want the boys to get me something, I can just say a name than them trying to work out what I want when I say get me my warm jumper, because I also have fluff. Oh, that's handy. So you're in different departments, so that's pretty handy. Makes it a little easier then, doesn't it? Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that name. Oh, see, no, that's what I like. Unique names. Just makes the person more them and more special, I think. Yeah, I never understood why you always end up with such and such junior and such senior, and then it just carries on and it gets so confusing. It's like, don't make someone be that other person, let them be their own person. And I know in a lot of families it's traditional to do that. But I just never understood it, so I was determined my boys would all have different names. So I get a lot of slack for the fact that I spout my middle son Reese's name the Welsh way. People are like, why don't you spell it the normal way? It's like, well, it is normal, it's just the Welsh way. I think I might have to take Daisy off because I am feeling very, very warm. 2 seconds, I'm going to stand up off camera and get this off a minute. That's better, it's a bit cooler. Oh, it's Gaelic for Lord. Awesome. I was learning Gaelic when I was younger, but I never got round to properly doing it. My family is Scottish. My granddad is Glaswegian. Um, but I was always intrigued by Gaelic language, so I tried to learn it. But there's only so much you can learn when you're doing it yourself, and I don't know anyone else who actually speaks it. Might even be pronouncing the way you say that wrong, but you know what I mean. Hi, Melissa. Um, do I do knitting? Yes. Um, as some of you have been around for a while now, I'm a little class obsessive, and I knit, I crochet, I weave, I dye yarn, I do macrame, I draw, I paint, I do jewellery work. I did do resin, but I stopped doing that because it didn't react well with my hands and things. Yeah, there's not many craft stuff that I don't do. Yeah, last year I did a lot of craft shows, way too many. So this year I've actually cut down what I'm doing. I'm only doing big events, um, so there's not too many. But yeah, last year I did a lot of craft shows. I don't do many dishcloths. I make dishcloths for home, and I love them. They last for so long. They're great. But I don't make them to sell because around here, people they don't quite understand the concept of dishcloths. They get a little confused. They had enough trouble understanding the concept of handmade face scrubs. Once they knew what they were, I actually sold quite a lot. They were actually one of my good sellers. But dishcloths, a lot of them are like, I just buy a J cloth. So I don't sell them, but I do love a good dishcloth. They're just so nice. Tatting is one I tried, but I couldn't quite get the hang of, when you have to pull it and it kind of does that little flick over thing to put. I have a little trouble with that bit. There was a lady who I met at one of my craft stores who said she was actually going to come along to my group and teach me, but she never came. So she hasn't been able to teach me. So I need to find someone else who does it, who could just explain it a little bit, because I haven't found a video that shows me that little bit in close up, and I struggle with it. But tatting is so beautiful. Yeah, I've seen about needle tatting, but I've never tried it. I'll have to give it a go. Is that a little easier than the other one? Because I still have my little tatting shuttle, but I just haven't bothered because I just need help with it. So is okay. I'll look into getting supplies for needle tatting then, and I'll give that a go. Thank you. Love learning new crafts. Um, I'm a little obsessed with my Cricut machine at the moment. Some of you on my Instagram feed and that would have seen the bracelet in the ring that I was testing out, and I love it. So I'm going to do a bunch more of them, and that's engraving. But I do like crafts that I'm more hands-on. I love my Cricut and designing stuff, but the Cricut does the engraving or the cutting and things. It's not quite as much fun. So I tend to do that when I need to just sit down and have a rest day. But if I'm feeling up for it, I want to be able to do something I'm physically doing with my hands. It's a really good name. Yeah, I don't actually know why I picked the Welsh spelling of these. It's just around here it was the least used one, so I wanted that. But as it happens, my husband's family are part Welsh, so it still fits. I might have to work out what I did with the ball. Oh, I can see it. I might have to pop over and get the rest of the ball to reload my shuttle in a bit because it's starting to run out. Which spinning wheel have you got? Yes, I have an Ashford traditional spinning wheel. On my video I showed earlier, this is a single that I spun for my January theme. So I love spinning yarn. I'm saving for one of the ones that can compact down and go into a rucksack, because carrying my big spinning wheel to craft events is quite hard work. Yes, I have 2 inkle looms. I did have 3. I gave one away, and then I had 2, gave one away, so I went down to 1, and then my husband built me a second one based on my Ashford one that I have. And so I have 2 inkle looms again. I use them for workshops and things as well. An Ashford Elizabeth too. Ooh. See why you wouldn't turn it down. Spinning wheels are so much fun. I have a drop spindle as well, but I'm not as good with drop spindle. I'm learning on that one. I originally tried drop spindles with a bottom, I'm going to say it wrong, bottom whirl, the disc thing. And I didn't get on with it, but this new one I got is the top one, and I actually get on with that much better. So I'm teaching myself to spin with the drop spindle as well now, which is quite nice because that's easier to take around with me than the Ashford traditional. Ooh, the Ashford Joy, that's a nice one. Some of the ladies in my spinning group have them. Some have Louise, which is very nice. I've seen those Turkish spindles. They look fascinating. I've never seen one in real life. I've seen them on YouTube. I saw some people spinning with them. I've never used one or seen anyone around here that uses them, but they look fascinating. This is from some of my friends have a very large amount of spinning wheels. They have all different sorts, and they do a lot of workshops and shows with them. So they have a good reason for having many. But I'm so jealous because they have some absolutely gorgeous spinning wheels. There's a lady in the village over from me. She has her own studio. I've been out to her place, and to see all of her spinning wheels, there's just so many of all different types, and it's just so good to see. She let me play on a blending board, which is something I want, so I was able to blend my own fibres as well. And I need to get a drum carder because at the moment I'm carding the alpaca fleeces by hand. And that's a lot of work for a whole fleece, and I've got 3 of them. Yeah, see, so I have the Ashford 32-inch rigid loom. It's in my craft room now. I got that for my birthday this year. My boys and my husband combined all their money and bought it for me, which was so nice. This one is the Ashford samplet, the 10-inch one, which I just got off of a lady. But I want to get maybe the 16-inch because that will also be something I could take around with me. But make slightly bigger projects on, because the big one is very big. So I can't really just take that to craft groups with me because there won't be enough room on the table. All right, Joe. Well, so glad you made it. It was nice to chat to you for a while. It's been so long. Hopefully you'll be able to make next week as well. I'll let you know once I know what day I'm doing. But you take care and look forward to seeing your project for February. So at the moment I'm making a scarf. Right, got that. So this is with my hand-dyed yarn. So it's just 100% Pima cotton. This is the first project I've ever done on this. It's a test one to see how it looks. And nobody liked this colour, so it never sold. So I had 4 skeins of it. So I thought I'll use it and make a scarf with it instead. And I really like how it's coming out. I don't know why nobody liked it, but I think it was good. Yeah, I have the Ashford 32-inch on my wish list for 3 years before I finally got it. So it takes time. So now one of those other spinning wheels is on my wish list, and it'll probably be another 3 years before I get it. Um, though if some of these events go well this year, then I might be able to afford it from profits from the business. But problem is I keep putting all the money back into the business to buy more stuff to make to sell, instead of spending it on stuff that I want. So you know how it goes. We're getting there. I just really love to do any sort of craft I want. Some people only have one craft, and we were discussing this on Denise's yesterday on Dear Designs Live, how some people tend to do one craft because they feel like they're cheating on their craft if they're doing a second craft or a third craft. But as I said, I have no loyalty to crafts. I do so many different ones because it depends on how I'm feeling for the day, what craft I'm going to do. I just do anything and everything I fancy. So today I've done this weaving. I was going to do the knitting, but decided to do this. Can't craft tonight because I'm going to a steampunk meeting tonight. Local steampunk hit the pub, so won't be able to craft tonight. But tomorrow I will probably finish off the beaded bracelet that I planned on finishing, which I haven't. It's already glued. I just need to put the ends on and then glue them in. And then I might work on the cricket, making small supplies on that. Have to see what I fancy really, because each day is different for me. I can't. Well, I might do 3 or 4 different crafts in one day. I can't sit and do nothing. I'm terrible. And it depends if I'm watching TV in the evenings with my husband to what I work on then. Because I can't sit and watch TV without doing something. So often I'll knit or crochet while I'm watching TV. Or I can do this weaving while I'm watching TV, just put a table in front of me. But I don't tend to do too much artwork or bead weaving when I'm watching TV because I need to concentrate more on those ones. But I can't sit and do nothing. Yeah, that would be so cool doing a bunch of dishcloths because on the big ones you could just have a whole load of them done, couldn't you? I never really thought of that. I might have to do that for the next time I want some dishcloths because I haven't done woven dishcloths yet. All my dishcloths are knitted or crocheted, so some woven ones would be really nice, wouldn't they? And I've got plenty of cotton, so I might have to do that next. Thanks for the idea. Yeah. See, people who sit and watch TV and do nothing else, I generally don't know how they do it. I have to be doing something with my hands. Um, Whereas my husband, he'd just sit there and watch TV. I feel like I'm wasting hours if I just sit and watch TV. I have to be doing something. And the problem is, it means that there's a lot of shows. I can tell you what they sound like, but I haven't got a clue what they look like. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I like doing tablet weaving. I'm a very beginner with tablet weaving or card weaving. So I've only done very basic patterns on that at the moment. Um, but I want to get better at that. I do like I'm going to say it wrong again, Baltic, Batik. I always say it wrong. I just call it speckled because I can say that. um, that's one of the things I just put a video out because someone asked me about how to set that up. So I put a video out last month for that. But I love working that because I love the pickup, and you can create so many cool patterns with them. So I actually used one of my woven bands to secure my spinning wheel. I tie the wheel and secure it down for transport so that it doesn't twist around in the car. So the bands come in handy for lots of things. It is weird, isn't it? It's just I feel like I'm wasting time and that my hand could be doing something. And my brain needs to be doing at least two things simultaneously because otherwise it wanders off into a completely different direction and then I'll just stop doing what I'm doing and go off and do something else. Yeah, this is the thing. My family always laughed at me for doing all of these crafts, especially knitting and crocheting when I first started. Because though I did it as a child, I properly picked it back up when I was about 24. And they're like, "That's an old granny skill. Why are you doing that?" Well, I've made an entire business out of it, and I love it. When I got sick, it was my solitude. It kept me going, so I didn't go stir crazy. And then I just kind of found new crafts, and each year I pick up at least one new craft. I don't really have room for it in the house, but that doesn't matter. I'm just piling things up. I have anyone who's seen my shorts for when I'm out doing stalls, you will see these white cubby hole things, little cubby hole things. I have wall to wall in my craft room full of them, so that I can keep all my stuff in there, and they're great. You can store so much stuff in them. So one side is my personal supplies and what I like to make, and the other side is pre-made stock that goes to be sold. At the moment, there's more stock than there is my personal side because I did a massive de-stash and I'm slowly rebuilding up my stash of craft supplies. But we're getting there. The only thing I struggle with this one is I think I pull it a little tight on that first one, so fixing it up is a little bit of a challenge. I actually have a second reed for my 32-inch. I want to start trying to do what do you call it? What do they? What's the correct term? I can't remember. Where you create a fabric that's folded around, so you're doing two different, one etched twice as long fabric. I want to attempt to do that. I can't think what it's blooming called right now. But I've seen it done and it looks fascinating, so I want to give it a go, and then I can create twice as thick, twice as wide fabric, which I really like for my wraps. Because as much as I love the wraps I've done, this was one of my first projects on my 32-inch. It's a really good size. It's folded over, but that's a good width. But I'd like to create the wraps that you have it one side and down the other, and it's split down the middle. I'd like to do them. So I think if I can work out how to do that double one, so it's kind of like a U, I might be able to create them on it, which I think would be really, really cool. So just have to wait and see, really, when I. Yeah, I like that answer, Lona. That is brilliant. Yeah, you can, and why shouldn't you? It's like saying to someone, "Why do you eat?" Because I need to. I need to do crafts. Crafts is my sanity. Um, and why do I eat chocolate? Because I can. Has to be dairy-free chocolate, but it's still chocolate, and I eat it. Do I like fashion? Um, I'm no good at fashion. I know nothing about fashion. I make whatever I fancy making, and if it's fashionable, it's pure coincidence. um, I am the least fashionable person I know. Yeah, no, I definitely couldn't do that. Sorry, Hader, I know nothing about that, and I don't tie anything around my waist. I have a very large belly due to Cushing syndrome, and so I hide my waist permanently. You can't eat chocolate. Oh no, I couldn't live without my chocolate. My mum can't eat chocolate; it gives her migraines. But I am officially a chocoholic. As a child, I ate way too much chocolate. Um, it's become easier not to eat too much because of being dairy intolerant now. I can't eat as much as I used to. But there's some pretty good dairy-free chocolate, so I'm finding some that I can eat. Now, I'd like to be better at fashion, but I know nothing about fashion. So I can't do any of that sort of stuff. Oh, there is a new craft that I'm going to do this year. I've been planning it out for years, but I've had to wait until I've had the time to do it, and that's tie-dye. I absolutely, you can probably tell, I like colour, and so I want to do tie-dye. I've been buying in supplies slowly over the last year to start doing that. But I'm waiting till the summer. I haven't dyed any yarn this year either because it's just too cold. Because my yarn dyeing station is in my garage. It has its own sink and that in there, so that way I can keep all my dyes stuff away from the kitchen. But it's so cold in there at the moment, there's no way I could actually make anything in there. So I do have a lot of yarn I need to get dyed once it gets a bit warmer, but I'm also going to start tie-dyeing. I'm going to do basic things to start with, so some white shirts, maybe if I can find them some nice white dresses, but also bedding, because I want some tie-dye bedding. And I know tie-dye is very not fashionable, but I like tie-dye, so I'm going to do it. If I miss a question or anything, just tell me to reread, because I don't always see them come through. I'm doing quite well on this. Might actually get this done soon. I need to get what I want made on it before I set it up for the next workshop for someone to play on. So I have to have a drink because my throat gets too dry, and because of my asthma that's currently not treated, if I let my throat get dry, it starts closing up and I can't breathe. And it's not a pretty sight. And I do have water beside me as well, but I like my lemonade, and it's such low calories, sweetener free, and all that sort of stuff, so it's reasonably healthy. So I drink it. It's more like traditional lemonade, so it's quite bitter, but I like it like that. Yeah, I don't like tonic water, which has that quinine, is it in, that makes things bitter. I'm weird like that. It's like I don't like chocolate orange, but I love Jaffa cakes. Well, I love proper Jaffa cakes. The dairy-free Jaffa cakes and the gluten-free Jaffa cakes, they're not quite the same, because I'm also gluten-free, so finding the foods that fit is very hard. Oh wow, we've been going for almost an hour already. That's gone fast. Yeah, I think I just heard my youngest head off to work. Might have been the oldest. I think the oldest already went. I never remember which one's leaving at which time, because their shifts change, so I just hear them go. If I'm lucky, they'll shout bye, but often at the times they won't. Especially the oldest, because he doesn't want to be caught on camera. He doesn't like being on camera. He's very shy. I don't know how I ended up with a shy child, because my family are definitely the opposite of shy. But never mind. Excuse me, sorry. The only problem with having fizzy. In case you're wondering what is behind me, on the sofa is the Stephen West shawl that I just finished. The Twist and Turns Make Along that he done last year. It took me until this year to finish. And actually I have 2 hula hoops and a cross trainer just here for when I'm feeling up to do an exercise, which isn't often at the moment, but it's there for when I can. I can't go to the gym so much because my body just gives out at random points, and at least if I'm at home and it gives out, I just collapse on the sofa that's beside it. I don't have to worry about falling down in the middle of the gym floor and everyone looking at me weird. I usually get enough weird looks when people saw me get on a piece of equipment and put my crutches down. It's like, just because I'm on crutches doesn't mean I can't do some kind of exercise. So has anyone got any plans for the rest of the week? Not that there's much left of the week, but you got any nice weekend plans to go ahead? I don't think I've got anything planned this weekend, so it's probably gonna sit at home and find something to craft. You've all gone quiet on me. I scared everyone away. I do that. Some people find me a little too weird. I did post to my Instagram my Instagram page, all of the entries for the January themed competition, so that everyone can see who entered. For those who aren't on my Facebook group, if you want to check them out, you can. But if you're not on my Facebook group, do go along and join, because then you can join in February's theme if you want. It only got announced today, so you've got all month to do it. Can't wait to see what everyone comes up with, because there's just some really amazing ones this year. Last month. My brain is getting tired. I'll probably go soon, because an hour or so is about as much as my brain can handle. Oh, I've never spun flax. What's that like? I've only ever spun merino, alpaca, and then a few basic sheep breeds like Blueface, Leicester, Scandinavian mountain wool, Corridale, I can't say it properly. But those sort of ones. I want to do bamboo, nettle, silk, all those sort of ones at some point. But I've never done flax. I was thinking of trying linen at some point as well, but the linen I have for hand dyeing is very rough. Apparently it will get smoother once it's washed and used. And the more you use it, the softer it gets, apparently. But I've not really used it yet, so I need to use it. I'm working on an old tractor. Have you got to fix up one? Is it broken, or are you just doing something fun with it? We see a lot of tractors around here, because though I live on the outskirts of town, it is a little village with a couple of farms and things. So, as you sure you know, on certain times of the year, it gets a little smelly around here. But I think it just clears out your lungs, clears out your nose. It's just lovely. So it's a little more slidey, I guess, then. I might have to give that a go at some point. Maybe I'm not quite skilled enough yet. I've only been spinning for about a year and a half, so I'm still relative beginner when it comes to doing different fibres. I mean, obviously I can spin, and my spinning isn't bad, but it is for only those fibres that I've done. So it'd be really interesting to try some others. I'll have to see if World of War or Wingham or something has some flax for me. Otherwise, I'll have to find somewhere else that sells it. I don't really know. I should really join a local guild, but the problem is the Wiltshire Guild is. I'm kind of at the very bottom end of Wiltshire, practically into Hampshire, and the Wiltshire Guild's at the top end. So it's quite a distance. So the Hampshire Guild might be better for me, but then the Hampshire Guild, I think, is further down into Hampshire. So I'm kind of living in the wrong position for both of them. So I haven't joined any proper spinning and weaving guilds. So I just have the craft groups that I go to, and that's it. But I know a lot of them have taster days. I know they've done a nettle spinning one a few months ago, which looked fascinating. And I think some of the ladies there done a flax one, but I've never had a chance to go and test it out. Maybe I'll have to ask some of the spinning ladies that come to my group, see if they've done any, and maybe they can teach me the best way to do it. Because some of them are very experienced, and Jenny, who taught me to use my wheel, I think she's been spinning for like 30 years or something, so she's very experienced. I have never spun or seen anyone spin with a distaff. It's fascinating to watch on YouTube, but I've not seen anyone around here do it. That would be something I'd love to have a go at some point. That would definitely have to be done at a taster session somewhere, I think. But again, I don't know where I'd be able to do that, which is a shame. Maybe we'll have someone doing some agricultural fairs this year with my stock. So maybe I'll be able to see someone there because we're going to get to see sheep shearing and all that sort of stuff. So maybe they'll have something there we can check. I'll have to see, won't I? I did visit a silk mill, a weaving one. I can't remember, some point last year. I did record it, but I don't know if I ever got around to putting the video up. But that was fascinating. It's a really old one, so it's still got all the original looms and the water wheel, though that wasn't running, they were fixing it up, and that was fascinating to go and look at. A little hard to get around with my wheelchair because, of course, back then things weren't built to handle wheelchair use. But they did install a lift so I could get up to the higher level. So I did get to see it all, and it was really fascinating. So I do love going out and looking at the older, more traditional ways things are done. So I just have to find some more, which will be nice, and at some point I will, I'm sure. Now that I'm not doing so many stalls this year, we'll have more time to go out and about, and hopefully more time to film. I've done so many stalls last year, I just didn't have time. I mean, between November and December, I had 9 stalls just in the first 3 weeks of December and the 3 weeks of November. So in 6 weeks, I had 9 stalls. It was insane. It was just too many. And then I'd had a minimum of 1 stall a month every month. Often had 2 or 3 each month, and it was just too much, way too much. So this year I've cut it down. I've actually got into a store doing demonstrations and selling my stuff at our local cuckoo fair, which is our local May Day country celebration fair. So I'm looking forward to that. Normally I'm just a visitor there, and this year I'm actually going to be one of the demonstrators, which can be really nice. Sorry. Note to self, make sure I don't just tip it so much. I've not seen how flax is processed, so I'm going to have to go and Google that when I end in a minute, because that would be quite cool, I expect. I love watching the mills where they take the fleece and from start to finish. It's just fascinating. I follow a few. There's a few on TikTok that I follow who are actual mills. The silk mill I mentioned earlier, they're on TikTok. So I get to see a lot of the processing, which is really cool. But I've not seen one for a flax, so I'm going to have to look that one up because that'd probably be really good fun. I watched how bamboo got turned into fibre once. That was fascinating. I'm intrigued by, like, one of the ladies in the spinning group. She said she was spinning milk. That I don't even comprehend how that works. So I'm gonna have to Google that and see. Is that a YouTube channel or a bit twisted? Because I'll go and look it up in a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and Google YouTube videos more, aren't I? I think there's more and more YouTubers doing the handicraft type things. When I first started my YouTube many years ago, um, there wasn't as many doing sort of things, and I had to kind of learn how to do a lot of it myself because there was no one to teach me. But now I think there's so many channels out there teaching these basic skills, and I think it's fascinating and so good. It's so nice that people who wouldn't normally have access to learning these skills finally get to. Um, because I would have loved to have learned a lot of this at an earlier age, but there was just nowhere around here for me to learn it all. I mean, I had to teach myself knitting because I didn't have anyone to teach me. Because back then, none of the rest of my family did any kind of crafts. My nan crochets and can knit, or used to knit. She can't anymore. She's going blind. But she wasn't doing it when I first started. And some of my aunties took up some crafting, but they haven't done too much, and so I didn't have them to teach me either. So I love that YouTube has so many videos of people showing you how to do things. And we get to see behind the scenes of how things are processed that we'd never get to see, and I think that's just fascinating. I don't know why some people don't like YouTube, because I think there's so many cool things on it. There hasn't there, Bear? There's just so many people doing it now, and it's amazing. I love it. I keep trying to find new channels. I'm trying to find a bunch of UK channels because I follow so many US channels. But the problem is, as much as I love my US channels and the people I've met through them, obviously if they're doing lives, they're usually at hours that are not suitable for me. So I want to find a bunch of UK channels that are crafty that I can go along and watch their lives and their videos at more sensible hours for me. So slowly but surely I'll find people. And the problem is when I got so busy last year, I didn't watch a lot of YouTube because I didn't have time. And for some reason, YouTube decided that meant I never wanted to watch them again and removed me as a follower from so many channels during one of their little cleanups that they do. So I'm slowly having to re-find all the channels that I used to follow. And a lot of them aren't putting videos out anymore, which is a real shame. So I need to find brand new channels to follow. Sadie's Spincraft. No, I haven't. I'm gonna have to write these down. Let me find a pen a minute. Hold on. Pen and notebook. Because in theory the chat should be still up after the video, but just in case it's not, we will write these down. Awesome. That way I can find them again later and not lose them, because with my head I will forget otherwise, because it's a bit silly. I should be following you, Bear, unless you're one of the ones that they removed me from, because I haven't seen any notifications for you, but then YouTube is very bad for notifications. Let me just check. No, it's removed me from you. I'm now re-following you, Bear. Sorry, that's another one they removed me from. Removed me from so many channels that I've had to re-follow again. It's done my head in. It's like I know I hadn't watched for quite a while because I just didn't have time, but that didn't mean I never wanted to watch again. If I didn't want to watch, I'd unsubscribe myself. But then at one point, I don't know if YouTube was having a funny 5 minutes, but there was a whole bunch of people on my subscribe list that I'd never even heard of, and certainly never subscribed to them because they were not my sort of videos. So I don't know what happened there, but I changed my password just to be safe. And I've got that two-factor authentication thing on as well now to make sure my trackers see so many people losing their channels, and it's heartbreaking. Yeah, I hadn't put out many videos at all in the last few years. It's been quite bad. So I thought doing this monthly theme guarantees at least one video a month, and then going live once a week means that I get to chat with you all at least once a week, and then I can see what other videos I can make and put in between all of those. Because there's a whole bunch of tutorial videos I'm supposed to have got done that I haven't got done. I mean, some of them are already filmed. I just haven't had time to edit them. And like I was doing jigsaw puzzle videos. I think I've got like 20 videos that haven't been edited. They're just waiting to be edited to go up. So I kept running out of time. And then I wanted to start putting some of my gaming videos out. I'm more of a puzzle gamer. A few other types, but I'm not one of these like shoot 'em. What was it? First person shooter games. That's not me. Yes, I do diamond painting as well. Yeah, I love diamond painting. I have quite a few of them in there. Again, there was something that I was supposed to be filming and putting out. Little craft and chats with 5D painting, which I used to do years ago. But I don't have time to do it. My husband was going to do all the editing for me, but he hasn't had time. He works full time, and then he's got to do the shopping and things and cleaning and things at the end after working, because we can't do a lot of that while he's working because he works upstairs. Since COVID, he hasn't gone back into the office very much, so he's on calls and things. He can't do much cleaning during the day, so that has to be done in the evening. So that doesn't leave much time for editing. Oh, you're a gamer too. What sort of games do you play? I use the word gamer in a very loose term. I mean, right now I'm playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. I also like Animal Crossing, Mario Karts. There's a whole bunch of like hidden puzzle type games. I did play Fortnite with my nieces and nephews for a little while, but I'm so bad that I don't play that. I think in the many months we played it during lockdown, I think I managed to kill 2-3 people, and that's with my nieces and nephews lining them up for me basically because I'm so bad. I can't do fast action stuff. There's this VR game that we got called on the PlayStation. It's called Moss, and it's about this little mouse that goes around doing these little puzzles. But they have a fighting section where you have to fight. I think it was beetles. I can't remember now. But I can't even do that. I used to hand off the controller to my son or my husband to do the fighting part for me. I can't do any game that requires fast thinking and actions. I panic. I panic so bad. So I do much calmer, interesting games. Among Us. I do Among Us as well. That's quite good fun. So yeah, my gamer title is very loose gamer. I'd like to be able to do other games, but I panic too much. Yeah, so what games is it you play, Lana? See, I have to think about this. I get it wrong so often. My youngest loves Minecraft. He keeps trying to get me to play it, but I can't understand it. I get so confused. I think it's the pixels. They trigger my migraines a little for some reason. I have no idea why, but it just messes with my eyes and makes my migraines go funny. So I haven't been able to play it. He's got me into a game called, I'm going to say this wrong, Tomatsi or something. It's like Minecraft, not Minecraft, Minesweeper, but much more complicated, and it's really good fun. I don't know EverQuest people to Horizons, so I guess they're going to be, are they more complicated games that are above my ability because I'm not good at them. Yeah, exactly, Bear. That's the problem. It messes with me. So I don't know why, but it's just yeah, Minecraft is not something I've been able to do very much. I'm just going to Google and see if I can work out whether I know that game. Um, oh, it's a multiplayer online roleplay game. Ooh. I might have to check that out. My problem is I panic um, when I'm playing online games with people that aren't my friends and family because I think that they're going to get mad with me for messing it up and not doing things fast enough, which is why I tend to avoid them. But some of them look so good. Like, what's that really big one called? Ah, I can't think what it's called now. The really, really well known MM. Was it MMO? The multiplayer one that's oh, see, Grain. It's another one where you go around doing things and you have guilds and all that sort of stuff. It looks fascinating, but I'm always worried that people are going to get mad with me for messing it up. Oh, yep, I love jigsaw games and things. Um, what is the name of the one that I play? Hold on, let me see if I can look up the name, the Minesweeper style one. It's a PC game. I got it on Steam. Let me see. Does it show me my games in this? I'm trying to see if the Steam app shows you. How do you see your library on the Steam app? I don't know. I don't use the app on my phone very much. No, can't find that way. If I attempt to open up Steam, will it crash everything? um, I actually had to uninstall almost all of my games off Steam because I got my computer is not coped. Okay, so the game is Tamatsi, Tametsi. Let me write that in. Um, reach my keyboard again. Helps if I click on it. Spell that right because my spelling sucks. Right, I think that's it. So yeah, that's the game that's like Minesweeper, but a little more complicated. It's really good fun. I love it. Let's close Steam back down before it causes my computer to go funny. My husband's played Skyrim. I'm sure he has. Mine is a gamer's laptop. It's an MSI. God, it's old now though. I can't see. I'm too short to see the sticker, but it's an MSI one, and it was pretty good, top of the range when I got it. But it's very very old, so it doesn't cope well. My husband's is even older. His is an MSI gaming laptop as well, but his is not doing so well as mine because it is so much older. And you need to update these things, but at the moment I've just it's holding in there. Let's see if I can find that game I'm trying to think of. World of Warcraft. There we go. It's World of Warcraft. That should have been so obvious. Yeah, that's the game I was trying to think of. Yeah, my gaming laptop was actually bought for doing all my YouTube videos. So I'm just trying to sort my footstool out. So it's got all of my raw footage and then the edited footage all on, along with the external hard drive. And that's why it's so full, because I have a whole bunch of Adobe software. And then it also has all my business stuff on, so I've got a bunch of office software, spreadsheets and things to keep track of all of that. So it fills up pretty fast. Yeah, World of Warcraft looks amazing. And I always wanted to play it, but I got so nervous that because there's some serious gamers out there, and I'm worried they get mad at me for messing it up, so I've never played it. I don't think I ever played Commander Keen. I don't think I've heard of that one. Yeah, maybe find an emulator and then you can maybe do a little video and show me, so you can show me what it is. That'd be so cool. We do we have switches in this house, and they have a lot of like the N64 games and Sega games. There's all a bunch of the really old games on it, which is really cool. So we get to play all of them as well. My first ever gaming station thing was actually a Sega Mega Drive, which I won. This is going back some years. Chocolate bar called Penguin over here. And they had a competition that if you had a gold wrapper hidden inside the normal wrapper, you won the Sega Mega Drive, and I won it. It was funny because I opened up my chocolate bar while I was at school. I was 9, 10 at the time. And I opened it up, and I didn't know there was competition, so I said, "Oh, why has this got a gold wrapper on it?" And someone next to me goes, "Oh my god, you've won!" And I'm like, "What?" And then before I'd even finished working out what it was going on, the entire school knew I'd won before I'd had a chance to tell my twin sister that we'd won something. But as a child of 6 children, I didn't get to play on it much because I had to share it, which was very mean. That's what I need to do. I need to get multiple external hard drives because I filled that one up so much. I need to have one that's for my business stuff, one for my photography stuff, and one for my video editing stuff. I think that's the only way I'm going to have enough room, because trying to fish it all on one is just not possible. And then I can actually have my computer for my gaming, which would be nice, instead of having to pick and choose which one I'm going to install on each day to work out to play, and then have to uninstall it to play the next one. Oh, that'd be so cool. I'm not very good with quilting. I want to be. I'm not. But we have quite a few quilters in my craft group, my local craft group that I run. And that is really fascinating. Maybe if you ever get it done, put a message where it is, and then I can share it with the ladies at the craft group. So can we run the games if we store them on the external hard drive? Because I've never tested that. I've been too afraid in case it wouldn't work. Yeah, once you've got it written, leave a message on one of my videos or join my Facebook group and post it in there, and then I can share it. Oh, I never realised I'd be able to play it from there. That's a genius idea. Thank you. I'm going to do that because I have a lot of games that I just can't play because I just can't keep them installed on the computer. So when I buy the new one I need for my business, I'll buy a new one for the gaming too then. My husband was so pleased to know I want to buy double the amount that I planned on. But what I do is I use the money I make from my YouTube videos and my business to buy these things, so it's not coming out of the housing fund or anything, so he doesn't really mind. I don't think he'd mind if it came out of the housing fund, to be honest, but I feel bad. He works hard all day, and then if I want to buy stuff for my business, it should really come out of my money, not his. Though everything we have is shared. It's just I like to be able to say that was paid for by my YouTube or my business or something, rather than my husband's hard-earned money for what we use for the household bills. Oh well, yeah, definitely several books. That'd be so cool. Maybe I might be able to learn. I've tried quilting several times. The first one I ever tried was the English paper piercing, and I discovered I got bored quickly. So the next one I did was the basic blocks on the machine, and I did enjoy that one, but I never got around to finishing it. So I really do need to learn to finish my projects. But at the moment, I'm having a little disagreement with my sewing machine. I'm not, because I'm all self-taught, I don't really know what I'm doing. So my sewing machine and me are having a disagreement about what means straight line. As in, I can't make it go in a straight line. It was entirely me. It's user error. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with the sewing machine. It's all me. But you know, I'll get there. Practice makes progress. Right, I've just got to the end of that strand, so I need to grab the other yarn. So I think I'm probably going to call it quits there. So that's not too bad though. So I've done 3 lots of that today. I think turning it while we've been on here, so that's not too bad, is it? We've been here an hour and a half already. That's gone really fast. So I'm probably going to head off. Thank you for coming and chatting. It's really nice to be able to sit and craft and chat with people again. It's been so long. Nice. See, yeah, I'm not that skilled. Ooh. See, cross stitch is another one I do like doing, but I have a habit of not finishing because I get bored. I'm going to try embroidery because obviously that can cover more space quicker, so I might not get quite so bored so fast. I have a whole bunch of cross stitch that I've just never got around to finishing. I really should, and maybe I will this year. We'll see. But I will see you all in a week. It's or around a week. I will try to put a notification out to let you all know when I go live. I just don't know what day of the week it'll be next week. The only day I can guarantee it won't be will be Wednesday, because that's when Dear Designer Denise goes live and I go to her live. So Could be any of the other days. I'll let you know. So you all take care. Bye bye.